And we're live. Welcome to another live stream. I hope you guys are having a good evening tonight. It was a busy day for me today. It's been a busy month. Well, January was a busy month. Now we're into February. So we'll see what February brings. By the way, February 21st is my birthday. So you guys make sure and wish me a happy birthday. Can you hear me okay? My 58th birthday on this planet will be on the 21st of February. So looks like we got Invisible River already on here. I hope you're doing okay tonight, Invisible River. He says them city folk like torture and getting money after saying it will be okay. You must be talking about my comment in my video about my land. You're new to them. If you already have an account, they scale the punishment. Made it to the top, they didn't want to hear from you. Okay, so they said that they would bulldoze your home. Wow. What's up, Justin? How are you doing tonight? Good to have you on here. I tried to call you back, and then you tried to call me back, and we just have not been able to mesh up as far as receiving and sending phone calls, have we? So you commented on my Chicago dog video. I was curious about what you thought about that video and whether or not you liked it. Because when you come here, next time you come here to Montgomery, you know, we're going to have to go try out the Chicago dog so you can see if it actually meets up to your expectations of what a real Chicago hot dog should taste like. My opinion is if it isn't exactly the same, it's pretty close. It's pretty close. The bread is even the same. And he did drag it through the garden for me. Justin says, how is his retire-inspired nation this evening? So how are you all? Tell me about it. How are you all doing tonight? I'm doing excellent myself, as you can tell. Invisible says his birthday is February 3rd. That is 2 days from now. And how old are you going to be, brother? Good to have another birthday, isn't it? Badlands Bandit, welcome in. How are you doing, my friend? He says, good evening, Sam, and hello to the retire-inspired nation. Guess who's coming to visit? And he wants to knock my camera off its mount. Come here. He's got his tail wrapped around my camera. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Look at that tail shot. He's getting his tail. He's putting his tail in my video. He's always got to put his tail in my video. Everybody say hi to Tigger. Hey, Tig Tig. How you doing tonight, buddy? So CG, welcome in. How are you doing, my friend? Good to see you on here. Hope everything is going well with you. And Justin says he was thinking about a trip down for spring break. That would be awesome. I'd love to see you. And I got just the place to put you. I can put you in the same place you stayed last time. I call it an Airbnb, but I haven't opened it up on Airbnb yet. So I've been extremely lazy about opening it up and getting it open for Airbnb. Part of it is just selfishness because I love to just go over there and hang out. I got a little place set up where I can take pictures for my listings, for my eBay listings, little shadow box kind of thing. So I go over there sometimes and I just take a couple of things over there with me and I list them. A lot of fun. CG says he hopes that things are going well for everybody. Invisible, you're 65. You're a little bit older than me. Not much, but a little bit. So that's what you're turning, right? 65, you're 64 now. And you'll be 65 in 2 days. Well, happy birthday, brother. CG says he doesn't feel great, but he hopes that everybody else is feeling good. AJTC Comics brand. What's up, my friend? AJTC Comics brand. I don't think I've ever seen you on here before. If you did, if you've been on here before, maybe you were on a different YouTube login. I don't know. But if you're new to the channel, tell us a little bit about yourself. I'd love to get to know you a little bit. Oh yes, 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 yes. I think I know who you are. Do you know what a parasocial relationship is? What is that? No, I do not. Like a tentacle. And yeah, that's your Tig. That's your Tig Tig. He is sitting down here in my lap just purring away. Marty Baker. Hey Marty, welcome to the live stream. How are you doing tonight? AJTC Comics brand, were you a tribal officer? I certainly was. I was a tribal police officer, and I worked at the casino in Wetumpka and in Montgomery. So I've worked at both of those casinos. It's been a long time. So if you know me from there, were you a tribal officer also? And if so, are you still a tribal officer? And who are you? Because it sounds like you might know me. One that flies. And Justin says it's good to have a house that is purely for chilling out. It absolutely is. I love it. Invisible says you're only as old as you feel. Well, sometimes I feel 58 and sometimes I feel 38. Invisible says he used to have a spare house. Marty says it's your birthday, February 21st. That's right, it sure is. And it's your mom and my brother's wedding anniversary on the 22nd. So they got married the day after my birthday. They kind of stole my thunder last year. And then they stayed in my house for a week after their wedding. That's Tigger's place. This is Tigger's place, but this is a different place than the one I was referring to. Justin says a parasocial relationship is when you stream a bunch of strangers, but it's a one-directional transaction. They get to know you, but you don't get to know them. Is that what you think this is? Because I feel like I know these folks that are on here. Actually, I've met a few of them personally. So it's not like I'm just talking to an empty screen of people who I don't know. Now, I have never met Invisible River, but you know, he has invited me to come to his ranch out there in Arizona, and I probably am going to take him up on that. Justin says, obviously, you know a lot of your viewers here tonight, but the bigger you get, the stranger the dynamic gets. Yeah, I see what you're saying, absolutely. If I was a huge YouTuber and I had, 100,000 or 200,000 followers, then I might know a handful of those people, but certainly most of them would know me a lot better than I know them. And I imagine that's the case with me, even being a smaller YouTube channel. I'm sure that there are a lot of people who watch my channel that I don't know, and they may never even comment. They may never even let me know they're watching my channel, but they're watching the channel and they're keeping up with me and all my crazy activities of trees falling down all over my properties and cutting trees down and all the fun, exciting things that I do in my retirement journey. But you see him, he wants me to pet his little face. Look at that. He likes it when I pet his little face. So so I know that my wife has a group of friends with her cat rescue group, and from what she tells me, they tune in and watch my videos, but they never comment. So I don't even know that they're watching a lot of times, the friends of hers who watch my videos, but they are always talking to her about Tigger and how cute he is, um, and wanting to get stuff for Tigger and stuff like that. So I think it's pretty cool. He will get to know here. Um, Justin says it's a pandemic these days. People spiral into insanity thinking they're close personal friends with their favorite streamer who has millions of followers. Well, unfortunately, that's not me. I'm not the guy with millions of followers. As a matter of fact, I just went over 2,800 subscribers. I'm at, I think, 2,810 as of the making of this videos. I have 2,810 subscribers. So when I get to 3,000 subscribers, that's going to be a pretty big deal for me, because I never thought I'd get over 1,000 subscribers, let alone 3,000. And maybe one of these days I'll get another video that's going to go viral and maybe get a whole bunch more subscribers. Who knows? I know Chuck, Chuck Jacobs, he had a couple of videos that really took off. One of them, they kind of didn't understand what he was saying. He was talking about, the video was about women who do camping, and how he was comparing and contrasting that to men who camp and are solo campers out, doing boondocking and stuff like that. And apparently some of the women did not like the fact that he was singling them out and talking about women when he had no right to do so. Justin says it's a very modern, particular kind of psychosis. Thank you for educating us on this thing. I was just thinking that one day when the Retire Inspired Nation takes the world by storm and you end up on the Travel Channel or something, you're going to have these types of fans. Well, I really am flattered that you would think that one day the Retire Inspired Nation would take off, and that I would actually be able to be on the Travel Channel, or have thousands and 100,000 plus subscribers. That really makes me feel good that you are optimistic in that way. Unfortunately, I'm not quite as optimistic. I'm not sure that I will ever achieve that type of fame. Invisible says he can agree. It's out there as long as they are happy. And Marty says, have you been selling on eBay? Have I ever been selling on eBay? As a matter of fact, I have sold some amazing things that I want to share with you guys sometime tonight as we get along on the live stream. Usually I take the first part of the live stream and we just kind of talk and enjoy each other's company. But I want to show you a couple of things that I sold recently. One of them I bought at a church yard sale. It was a die-cast metal B-52 bomber. It was about 172 in scale, so it was only about this big. I bought it for $1. Bought a whole box full of these. Look at this. Look at this little fella. Look at this little fella. He says, you want to hold my hand? So anyway, this $1 die-cast B-52 bomber model airplane, it's like a model that you put up on a stand, but I didn't have the stand for it. Anyway, it sold for $230, and I'll show that to you tonight. It was amazing. Probably one of the most amazing sales that I've ever had. $1 into $230. Are you kidding me? You can't make that with the stock market. Justin is saying hi to Marty. And welcome, William, my brother William. How are you doing tonight, brother? From the same mother? Good to see you on here. Hope you're doing well. Hope Valerie's doing well. Hope Stephanie is doing well. Are y'all watching me on the big screen? Wolfman's Goodies. What's up, Wolfman? Good to have you on here. I'm honored that you're here tonight. I hope you are doing well, and I hope that your mom is doing well as well. Keeping up with you. I'm still watching your videos on the daily. I see my friend Dallas Flippin is in there hanging out with you too. Invisible River. It's going to be unlike any other place you have ever seen. Not like West Arizona here. Justin says he has a parasocial relationship with Tig Tig. Yeah, you're right, because Tig Tig doesn't even know you exist unless you come and visit him. But you are his brother, so, you know, you need to come and spend a little bit of time with your brother, Tig Tig. Tig, he's a good boy. He is a good boy. Unless he's knocking stuff down. And he's not really a good boy. I'm just kidding. He's always a good boy. And Invisible says trees grow real fast in South Florida. William says black looks good on you. Thank you. I think you have a shirt just like this one. This is one of my Uncle Sam's retro gaming shirts. By the way, I need to get some more videos up on my new channel, Uncle Sam's Retro Gaming. I haven't been able to do a whole lot of repairs lately because I'm either packing stuff for eBay, or I'm going to the flea market booth and restocking the flea market booth, or I'm out assessing damage in my on my properties when that wind came up so fast. It was I'm certain it was a tornado, but I'm not sure. That wind came up so fast that it hit me all of a sudden. I was just down the street from where that big tree fell when the tornado came. So I remember hearing a loud crashing noise because I was just down the street at my Magnolia place, which is the one that I'm going to be renting out on Airbnb. The guest was supposed to arrive today, but they did not show up. But I did get the house cleaned up, and I made a little video about it, so I'll be posting that up pretty soon. So yeah, I put that video together where they went in. My friend Romulo, who is a real nice guy. We've been friends for a long time. He does a lot of my repairs. When I need repairs done, he went over there, and him and his group, and they plastered up the area where there was a big crack in the middle of the house. And I think that's part of the part of the reason why the house didn't sell the first time it was on the market, because it had the big crack in the plaster, and it was really just cosmetic. But you know, people are persnickety when they're paying $160,000, and I can't say I blame them. And William's saying hi to Justin. Invisible says, are you happy with Tig Tig? Yes, I'm happy with Tig Tig. He's a good boy. And William says, I am 3 of your subscribers. Well, good. And Invisible says that future movie appearance. Badland says, how many total viewing hours are you at? That's a good question. I am not sure. But you know what? I could show you. It's not as much as I would prefer. Some of my recent videos, that the one that I did on the Chicago dog didn't do as well as I expected it to do. It only did like it's at 70 views right now, and usually by this time after posting a video, my views are in the hundreds at least, you know, over 100. So I will, since you posed the question, let me catch up on my comments here, and then I'll show everybody how many hours will boost views. Justin says, which one of the 3 subscribers is in the chat room with us tonight, William? That's funny. This one and the TV. So I've got 2 subscribers that are on my live stream right now that are one person. Satellite in My Eyes. Do you remember that song? Okay. Dave Matthews. The members have a star thing. Oh, you're talking about members. You're a member. You're actually the only member I have currently because my other member quit on me. But that's okay. Dallas Flippin', what's up, my friend? How are you doing tonight? Good to see you on here, Dash. Tigro. Invisible says he made is that $180,000 in a week? Wow. And Chuck Jacobs, what's up, my friend Chuck? How are you doing tonight? Glad to see you on here. He says he's heading to the Q in the morning. I'm assuming you're referring to Quartzsite, which I missed this year. I hate that I missed it. When are you getting rid of your milk mustache and beard? I don't know. I kind of like it. I think I'll maybe put out a poll to see who likes my beard and mustache and who doesn't. Who thinks I should cut it? Who thinks I should shave my mustache and beard? Look at this. The camera hog is getting back in the field of view. What are you doing, Tigger? He's just going to sit here right in front of me between me and the screen so I can't see myself and I can't read my comments. You have got to get down from there. You cannot be sitting. You cannot be in between me and my comments. This is my fan base here. You have to respect that. Your sound is cutting out. Is it really? Is that true? Is everybody saying that, or? Okay, B-52s are unbelievable. BUFFS, as they are affectionately known as. This is a family program, so you might want to look at the acronym. Okay. William says he saw the video. It's been posted. Never mind, the sound issue was on my end. That's what I figured. Couldn't be me. Could not be me. Badland says, shave it off. You'll look 53 or less. And Tigger is messing with your mic. Is he messing with my mic? So I'm gonna show you my YouTube channel first, because everybody wants to know how many hours I have. Well, not everybody, but Badlands does. Okay, this is what my channel dashboard looks like. And it says in the last 26 days that looks like I got 2 more subscribers recently. So I'm at 2,813 subscribers. And my estimated revenue for the last 28 days is $22.94. Woohoo! I'm not going to get rich on that for sure. And let's see. These are my subscribers. East Tennessee Whiskers, ASC Variety Blogs. And this is my member, Invisible River. See, he's got a star. So Invisible River is my only member, unless one of you guys would like to join. But do not feel like you have to. Let's see. Analytics. That's what I want to get to. All right. This is my analytics. It says I got 2,882 views in the last 28 days. And I got 437 hours of watch time. So that's just the last 28 days. But if you go to lifetime, I've gotten 1,880,955 views, 1.2 million views, with 63.9 thousand watch hours. Estimated revenue since I started the channel is $1,991.75. And it shows my top videos. This one was my top video, Montgomery, Alabama's Finest, Rescue a Man in Distress. Got 977,062 views. My second highest video was the American Pickers video, where I went to the American Pickers store in Nashville, Tennessee. It got 59,187 views. And then my third highest watched video is at R.M. Brooks General Store. This was the first video that I did when my wife Carol was in this video, and it got 38,780 views. So that's my top three. That's my top three. And look at this. Audience by watch behavior. New viewers is 71.3% of my watchers. Casual viewers is 25%, and regular viewers is 3.7%. So the smallest amount of viewers are my regular watchers. So anyway, that's a little bit about my YouTube channel, in case anyone was interested. Let's see, I'm going to catch up here. Justin says, this is my member is a less than fortuitous sentence to utter live on the internet. Was hip in the 70s for members only. And Justin is a big fan of members only jackets. And Badlands says, not bad, Sam. Nice work. Thank you. I bet Chuck gets a whole lot more views and watch hours than I do. Invisible River, that's cool. Thank you. Justin says, I have a whole collection of them. I'm not sure what you're referring to there. What can I say? I'm a sucker for I don't even know what that word is. Member-only jackets are making a comeback, according to Badlands. And Justin says he's been rocking them since 2010. Well, I've been rocking them since 1986. So how about them apples? Justin says he prefers a thick European accent. Thick European made ones. I thought they were all made in England. Tomorrow I'm teaching a couple of courses at one of the universities in the city. Irregular abnormal. One of my courses on Russian esoteric thought, and the other one on Soviet film. You're ahead of the game, a true pioneer, bringing back the epaulets of the Windy City. So, so Dash asked for the flip of the week. So I'm going to share with you guys the flip of the week. Now I got to show you this die cast I was telling you about, because this is one of the best uh, best sales I've ever had. So this is the die cast, and like I said, I got this at a yard sale, and there was a box of 12. And I've sold like 4 of them already for $75 plus each. So they've been selling pretty good. The other ones that I had, this is one of there were only 2 of them that did not come with a stand, but this is one of the ones that did not come with a stand. But it's made out of die cast, so it's metal, and it's a B-52 bomber. See the graphics on the side of it? It says Sally B. Those look like graphic stickers. It doesn't look like it was painted on or anything like that. So I'm not sure why this was so valuable, but it was made by a company called Corgi. And when I looked these up online, I was really very surprised with the value of it, because I had no idea when I picked it up that it was this valuable. So this is $2.25, $1 into $2.25, and didn't even have a stand with it. So I imagine it would have been even more with a stand. But it's pretty, intricate, and even the tail gunner section here has a little window in it. But it's really intricate and well made, so maybe that's why. But it's called the B-17 Flying Fortress, and it's made by Corgi. Yeah, that's a B-17, and the B-52 was way different. You're correct. I did say B-52, didn't I? That's a B-17. Whoa, putting the Air Force veteran to shame. Hey, I wasn't a pilot, so it doesn't affect me any. That's a World War II airplane. That's absolutely correct. Just make pricey stuff. So I wanted to show you a couple of other sales that I did that I got also that were pretty decent. This is another one of those planes that I got for $1, and it sold for $43, which is on the low end. This one is also die cast. It's a German aircraft. Actually, it's a Swedish aircraft from World War II, and I'm not sure. I don't want to try to pronounce that, because I might pronounce it wrong, and then it would then I would have to have censorship. But this is one of the aircraft. 1945 Swedish aircraft from World War II. When I pack these to mail them, I have to be real careful with these wheels, because if I don't put something in there to protect them, like a box, I usually take like a small box and put it over the top of that, so nothing can knock the wheels off of it. And that's what I did. I did have one that I sold that got returned because it the wheels got knocked off of it. But what I did was I just glued them back. I super glued them back on, and the next person that bought it, didn't complain at all. Was very happy with it. This is another item that was a pretty good flip, and this was in my last video. I talked about it. It's a military flight jacket. for a flight for Desert 10. It was Desert 10 because it was made during the Desert Storm, Desert Shield era, and cold for cold weather. And this thing was in mint condition. I picked this up at a yard sale, and it was only $5, but it sold for $130. So I recommend any resellers that are in here, if you run across these flight jackets, get them because they're really good return on your investment. Let's see. Sam listed it right. He introduced it incorrectly. That's correct. That's right. I did list it right, but I told you guys incorrectly when I was describing it. Um, you were what airborne soldiers called a boot. Okay. No worries. Yeah, you had me at B-52. And Justin says it's pretty funny that a whole group of soldiers in the Army would insult other soldiers because they don't jump out of planes. Well, that's one thing I have never had a desire to do. You're what they called a tarmac boy. No, I wasn't a tarmac boy. That would have been the security specialist. I was a law enforcement officer. Back then, they had two distinctions in the security police, and they were called security police then. You had law enforcement, which was me. We actually patrolled the base and we manned the gates at the front gates to allow entry into the base. And we did patrolling, and when we were at Clark Air Force Base, we had motorcycle patrol and we had, vehicles patrol, and we also had a mounted horse patrol, which was the only mounted horse patrol at the time. It was the late 80s, 1988 to 1992. That was the only mounted horse patrol in the Air Force at the time. And so, but I wasn't any of those because I had a dog. I was a canine handler, and I handled a German Shepherd. His name was Arco, and me and Arco patrolled the neighborhoods of Clark Air Force Base all night long. We walked around through those dark, hilly areas, and the good thing about the Air Force Base, let me make myself big again. But the good thing about the Air Force Base is that at Clark Air Force Base, it was always warm. The temperature never got below 75 and it never got above 85. So we had wonderful weather 9 out of 12 months. Now, we did have 3 months of the year that was monsoon. And what I mean by that is that we had 3 months of torrential rain every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 3 solid months. And that was called our monsoon season. Justin says, whenever the pilots would hop out of the cockpit, they'd walk over to you and say, "Hey, tarmac boy, go get me a copy." I love your sense of humor, Justin. You are hilarious. Human nature at its best. Never saw a plane handler even want to talk about the pilots. Just turn head away. Justin says, "Hey, ground boy, make yourself useful and make..." and walk my lunch to me. I've got a plane to catch. Oh my goodness. That is hilarious. Tarmac boy. Make my lunch. Okay. Well, I was being tarmac boy while you were at home pooping your diapers, okay? How about that? Okay. Invisible says before Mount Pinatubo eruption. Actually, I was there I left the Philippines. What they call PCS, which is permanent change of station, is what the PCS stands for. I had a permanent change of station from Clark Air Force Base, and I left. And I was married at the time to Justin's mother, and we left. And Justin, his little poopy diaper self, also left the same day we did. Um, got on the plane and left the day before Mount Pinatubo blew, erupted. Oh, your wife is from Davao, Philippines. Okay, so she must speak Tagalog. Justin says he was living like a king in the Philippines. He sure was. He had a round the clock nanny. I was a baby emperor. Yeah, you had a round the clock nanny. I mean, and we paid her $25 a month. Now, mind you, $25 a month was more in 1989 and 1990. Well, 91 is when he was born. But in 1991, $25 would go a lot further, especially in the Philippines. $25 was about like $150 or $200 in the U.S. at the time. But yeah, we paid her $25 a month, and she stayed 24 hours a day, except for weekends. She went home on weekends, and Justin was the baby king, as he put it. So he got taken care of by a nanny. I guess his mom enjoyed that because she didn't have to worry about doing that after just coming back from giving birth. Uh, Justin says there's an incredibly heartwarming Filipino version of the film E.T. called Koki, and I simply cannot recommend it enough. In fact, you should play the trailer on your live stream. I've never heard of that. I liked E.T. when it came out. It was a good movie. Lowest Island in the Change. She talked that when I made her mad. Tagalog and Bisaya. Yeah, Bisaya was the other dialect that they spoke. Um, there's a lot of dialects in the Philippines, a whole lot. But I'm going to share something else with you. I'm enjoying this talk, and Justin is just keeping me in stitches with his tarmac boy talk. So I'm enjoying that. So I don't want to get too far away from all that fun time that we're having. So so I am going to share. I want to share some milestones with you guys. I'm going to go back to my sales. I've really had some amazing sales lately. This Super Mario Kart is a Super Nintendo game. I bought a bunch of stuff from someone came to my booth. I was in there putting stuff out, so I probably need to spend more time in my booth so I can get more things like this coming to me. But someone came and said, hey, they sold me a little stack of Pokemon cards, and I sold one of them for $65. I'll show it to you. But I paid $10 for the stack of Pokemon cards. I'm not into Excuse me. I'm not into Pokemon cards, so I don't know much about Pokemon cards. It's an area that I have very little knowledge of. But the good thing about the Google Lens and the YouTube, eBay search tool, you can take a photo of anything and it'll tell you what it's sold for. And so that's what I did with these Pokemon cards. But then they came back the next day and they said, we have these video game consoles that we want you to look at. And one of them was a Super NES, one of them was an N64, and they both had controllers with them. And the Super NES had about maybe 25 or 30 games with it. And so this was one of the games, the Super Mario Kart, and it sold for $31.50. So that was a. There were several really good games in there, and I'll show you a couple of the others that sold. But here's a Super Famicom that I bought off of Whatnot. If you're familiar with Whatnot, it's a live streaming uh, auction that you can go to on YouTube, and you can buy stuff off of. A lot of resellers buy stuff off of Whatnot because you can get things at a pretty decent price. I paid $25 plus about another $8 for this Super Famicom. It's a family computer. This was the Japanese version of the Nintendo. Um, this was not a Super Famicom. It was just a Famicom. So I got the wording on that wrong. But I paid about 30, 34, something like that for it total. And then I got the games separate. So the games, was a whole box of games that I bought. So I just paired up these games with this console and sold it for $103. The games I paid another $25 for. Now there were a lot of games that are not showing. The game lot that I bought had about 10 of these Japanese Famicom games. So if you're not familiar with the Famicom, that's what it is. Let me catch up on these comments. Justin says there's an increasing heartwarming Filipino version. Oh, I already read that. Lowest island on the chain. Month of January is good to sell it. Yeah, it is. I agree. It appears that the temperatures are trending back up. Winter is receding. I hope so. It's been cold here recently. So I've been lotting up these original Nintendos, the NES's systems, and putting the Zapper and the Super Mario and Duck Hunt game with it, because that bundle is how it was sold back in 1985 as a system. And so I've been selling those for $139.50 consistently. This is a lot of old electronic tubes. You remember the tubes that used to be in the old radios? And so this is one of the lots. I bought this lady, her husband passed away, and I went and I bought a bunch of stuff from her. I bought a bunch of watches, and one of the things she had was a bunch of these old tubes, and I've already sold a whole bunch of these tubes, and they sold and made pretty good money. So if you're a reseller and you run across these tubes and they're in new condition like these were, they're definitely a good item to pick up. They sell real well, and then they also make that you can get good money for it. I sold this Jungle Green Nintendo 64. I think I had this on one of my haul videos. I've not had any haul videos recently because there's just not been any hauls. Because with winter and rain and the bad weather, you don't get too many yard sales or opportunities to make great buys. But this is one of the really good buys. I paid $5 for this console. I bought it at a yard sale by itself, and it was really dirty, and someone had really not taken good care of it. I ended up taking the inner parts of it out and replacing the inner parts with one that I had that was working, just using the case, just kind of reshelling it, so to speak. But what's interesting is at that day when we were out yard selling, the a couple yard sales after this one where I got this green console. There was another yard sale that had a one of the regular N64, the gray kind, and they had two controllers with it. They had the gray controller that goes with it, and they also had, believe it or not, this controller too, which goes with the jungle green N64 console. And so this console, and then I had to go to Amazon to get the power cord and the AV cable. But this one sold for $202.50. I paid 30. By the way, when I got the other console with the two controllers, this was one of the controllers that was with it, I only paid $30 for that one. So a steal of a deal. That memory card was actually in this controller when I bought the console. But I've had this console in my booth for a couple months now. I knew it would take a little while to sell this because it was priced pretty high. It was on the high end, but it sold, and also sold one of these original Xbox bundles for $135. And I bought a bunch of those, and I don't know which one that one is. This is a Fisher-Price DC Super Friends Batcave. I bought this at one of the thrift stores for like $10, and I had these figures. I already had Batman figures, and I just put that with I put the figures with it to sell it, and it did sit around for a little while, but it sold and got $40.50 out of it, which was a pretty good turnaround. And I sold a lot of Thomas the Train, 12 DVDs for $28.80. So yeah, that's some of the things that I have been selling. I wanted to share that with you guys so you could see that, for anyone who's on the fence about reselling and interested in doing it, it is definitely worthwhile. Check this out. This is my 90-day total. Almost $20,000, $19,866.35. And that's 90 days from August 6th to November. It's comparing it to from August 6th to November 3rd. So this is the report for November 4th through February 1st. $19,866 in sales. And that net amount was $12,613. So, it's nothing to sneeze at. It's at first when I started doing eBay, I was just doing it for the fun of it, which I still do it for the fun of it. I enjoy doing it. But these kind of figures, these kind of dollars kind of got my attention. I'm like, man, that's how do you you can't ignore something like that, almost $20,000 in sales in a period of 90 days. Taxes is $1,261.81, and then the selling cost was $5,991.35. I would have been happy with just that. But to bring home $12,613.12, that's just amazing. That is a new record for me. I've never brought home that much in a 90-day period. Never had that kind of a 90-day sale period. 268 items sold, which is 54% higher than the prior time period. And average sales price was $74.13. So that's a lot of items that sold. But if you sold 268 items at an average sales price for each item is $74.13. That's crazy. And that's because a lot of it was video game consoles. You see that most of it, 31.86%, is video game consoles. And then 8.46% was video games. And then the rest was movies and TV. DVDs, Blu-ray disc was $531. Health and beauty, this would be like uh, mobility, walking equipment, stair lifts, and elevators. I'm not sure exactly what that was. I know what it was. I sold a wheelchair lift that goes on the back of a vehicle. That's what that was, $525. And it was one that I had had for quite some time. It was a local pickup. I wouldn't dare put something like that on eBay for me to ship. I would never try to ship something that big. It was huge. But the guy met me, and I sold it to him. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys because I just think it's amazing, how much money you can make just doing part-time selling on eBay. Let's see what kind of mess Justin has written here. Chicago is just a frozen hellscape. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be there right now. That's snow and ice. I would not want to be there. No way, no way. It's been this way for a week and a half with no sign of warming up. Invisible says, can't buy any big piece of meat for less than $100. Getting a whole video game set up is good value. Global warming will catch you back up soon. Enjoy the cold. At least you're not sweating and mad at AI at the electric bill. Justin says, did you guys hear that these Antifa mental defectives in Minnesota are now setting up? No, we're not going to get into politics. We're not going to do that. Nope, not going there. No way. Maybe the kids get cash for Christmas, then buy games in January. Okay, all right. Cha-ching, yep, cha-ching. They killed a few, okay. And, okay, interesting comments. So it seems like the comment section has taken a turn. Anyway, looks like I am getting really close to actually making my hour. Side hustle is compromised. Okay. So it looks like I have taken up most of my hour. And we're at 58 minutes and 15 seconds. Unlike last weekend, when I was halfway through my live stream and we lost power completely. That's unusual. That was a first to lose power completely. But we were able to make it the whole hour tonight without losing power, which is a good thing. So I am going to be very busy tomorrow. I have a bunch of items that I have to ship, and 4 of them are video game consoles. 4 of the items that I have to do are video game consoles. That was a good broadcast. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Invisible. I appreciate having you in my corner. Great one tonight. Retire. Let's get this money. I make very, very little money on my live streams. I might make 12 cents on a live stream, and that's if I get a lot of viewers. That's if I get about 150 to 200 people view it after the live stream. But I am staying really busy. I got my check from Eastbrook Flea Market today. It was almost $700 for the last 2 weeks of sales. So, I'm very thankful for the money that has come my way. It's been very nice. I'm able to actually pay for things that come up that I didn't expect, like having 2 trees removed that were $10,000. So stuff like that is, makes it very worthwhile and very, very useful to have that little extra income that doesn't really count. So you guys take care of yourself. I appreciate you guys being on with me tonight. I appreciate each and every one of you being on with me tonight. And I appreciate you guys being loyal and watching my videos and coming back every week to visit me. Looks like we had a pretty good crowd here tonight. And I always enjoy interacting with you guys. It's a fun thing for me to do, to interact and share things with you guys and talk about stuff that really interests me. I don't know how much it interests you, but reselling is a lot of fun. um, Wolfman's Goodies says, "Get off the internet, old geezer." You left out the old geezer part, Chad. Last weekend, there were some people on Chad's live stream. I think the algorithm pushed him out to some people that don't normally watch him. But he had a lot of people on his live stream last weekend, which was a little bit unusual. And one of them told him to get off the internet, old geezer. So I thought that was pretty funny. Anyway, you guys uh, keep the good times rolling, as Justin says. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Justin, give me a ring after this ends. Give me a call. I'd love to talk to you since we've been missing each other. I will be available right after this live stream. So I'm going to call it a night. You guys have a great one. And I will see you guys on the next one. Love you and take care. Bye-bye.